There's a review on Letterboxd, follow me there by the way, that perfectly sums up my opinions on the new Dreamworks animated movie RWBY Gillman Teenage Kraken. And that review reads, "It felt weird watching this in a theater knowing damn well that God intended for this to be viewed on a smudgy iPad in a busy Olive Garden." I think that sums up my feelings on this film pretty well. Yeah, this streak of really good animated films from last December unfortunately broke with RWBY Gillman. Before I get hounded for this opinion, I need to clarify that the movie isn't bad. It's not bad. It's just nothing really all that special. I think the most notable thing I like about this movie is the animation. I think the art style is a little odd. I think it looks fine on the Kraken characters and some of the people, but then there are characters like Ruby's friend that looks like Kroger commercial characters, and they just look very off. But it's well rendered, the lighting is great, the sea monster designs are cool, and the action is pretty fun all things considered. RWBY herself is a bland, formulaic, but not awful protagonist. The Mermaid Lady is the exact kind of predictable villain we expected Metro Man to be in GillMID, but she's not awful either. She does have a slightly interesting connection to RWBY's family, and she's well voiced. In fact, the entire cast is. But apart from that, she's fine too. They are both perfectly fine main characters that just happen to be stuck in the most formulaic story Dreamworks has ever made. Literally every single relationship or character arc you think will happen will. And it stays this played out throughout the entire movie. It's also not very funny apart from a couple lines from Chelsea, but it just doesn't leave a huge impression on me. I forgot a good majority of this film leaving the theater, so it's safe to say none of it really stuck. There was a mild amount of hype before the film release because it could use the Kraken and Mermaid thing as a commentary on how neurotypical people treat people on the spectrum like circus attractions. But if that's what the film was going for, then it only really went there to the least possible degree. It just kinda shifted to, oh no, the mermaid bitch at the beginning of the film is evil. Get her. It all feels so formulated at this point. I also think the majority of this played out nature could be attributed to the film's marketing, and with that, I think we should get to the other thing we're here to talk about. If you just wanted my opinions on the film, that's fine, but there's a whole heaping of other stuff to discuss that I think will illustrate the experience of this film a lot better. So this film, if you don't know, is making $0. It is the lowest opening for any Dreamworks film ever. Almost no one went to see this movie, and I can attest, I was literally the only person in the theater watching this movie. This film ultra bombed, which is weird because Dreamworks hasn't had this problem for a while. I think I could partially blame this on how much of the movie was spoiled in its two trailers, how little Dreamworks actually marketed it after that, the fact that it released 2 weeks after Pixar and 3 weeks after Spider-Verse. Maybe people just don't like how the movie looks? But yeah, the film released, no one saw it, it got middling reviews, and the response to this film caused a bit of a commotion. There were 3 camps. The first is the one that I saw the most of, which is just people who didn't even know the movie existed until it released, which could be attributed to the terrible marketing. The second are people who saw the film, loved it or hated it, but were still disappointed that it made $0, which I completely respect and understand. But then, there's this third camp, which has absolutely fascinated me for months now, and it's related to this prevailing notion that Dreamworks is the new premier studio, with tons of classics who always focus on quality, who never cashes out, and is going to beat Disney by making nothing but quality films, and you will never be disappointed in anything they make. And to that I say, will you be here all week? Dreamworks for years have been very well known for basically being two studios in a trench coat. You have literally no idea going into any of their movies if they're good or not. They can have good original movies, bad original movies, good sequels to bad movies, bad sequels to good movies. Like, you have literally no fucking clue if a new Dreamworks movie is going to be good, and the advertising for 90% of them makes them look like complete ass. And it seems like the films that released last year gaslit everyone into thinking that Dreamworks would constantly put out quality films, but I'm going to emphasize that after watching all of them, they don't. They are the most inconsistent animation studio working today, with very high highs and equally low lows. So to see a movie like this come along and just be whatever is not out of the ordinary. But it is if you're going into all of them expecting to be peak. This isn't the first time this happened either. The moment that the trailer for Trolls 3 released, everyone gave that shit because it didn't look as good as Puss in Boots. And while I wish it could have, and the movie still probably looks like shit, Dreamworks making bad movies shouldn't be this insane surprise to people. They made Shark Tale and The Boss Baby. What are you guys expecting here? Bottom line is, if you like this movie, good on you. If you dislike it, good on you. But if you are mad that this movie acts as a sort of reality check to the kind of studio Dreamworks is, then I hope you realize that after this and Trolls, they're not the new Ghibli or whatever. I am really disappointed that this movie is making $0, but I know their future movies have a good shot at performing well. Financially, because Trolls is doing well because of iPad kids, and in terms of quality, next year has Kung Fu Panda 4 and Orion in the Dark, which the former is going to do well because it's Kung Fu Panda, and the latter is written by Charlie I'm Thinking of Ending Things Kaufman, so it'll probably slap too. Dreamworks will be perfectly fine, guys, don't worry. So the quality of this mid-ass Kraken movie doesn't really bother me. Anyway, GillMID Teenage Crackhead gets a 5 out of 10. It's fine. And since I hate to end on such a down note, if you want to see some really entertaining films, I suggest you see Across the Spider-Verse, Asteroid City, Nimona, and honestly, Elemental. I'm sure you'll probably enjoy yourself.